Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Well, since Volibear was banned, we had to settle for being the bear with just one ability, Udyr. The funny part is that Udyr's awakened Q ability alone is stronger than Volibear's entire kit in just one cast. Talk about team game design. This homeless little guy channels the power of the Freljord spirits, and one of those guys is Volibear himself. So, if you're happy relying on just one ability for the rest of the game and pulling off insane damage in the late game, Udyr is your champion. When you're up against broken champions, you've got to pick a broken one too. Now, in this game, Shen is my top laner against Riven, who's running Ignite. Riven is being super aggressive, clearly understanding her potential, which invites a challenge. Shen players often wait until they hit level 6, and then use their ultimate to gank bot lane, use their teleport to go back to lane in a never-ending cycle. But in this match, I'll be focusing more on helping Shen deal with this typical balanced, skill-expressive champion called Riven. Hence, just chill and enjoy a series of unfortunate events awaiting this sad top laner. Another thing I noticed that many patient players do is waste their first ultimate in a greedy way. For example, we killed Riven multiple times, yet Shen was still losing against her. So I asked him nicely, just use your ultimate on top of me. We're killing this Riven again. With that, we managed to get another kill on Riven, but one kill isn't enough. You need to keep killing Riven because she's one of those champions Riot labeled her bugs as features. People abused the champion until she became meta, and instead of fixing it, Riot improved the bug, boosting Riven to where she's stuck at a 52% win rate in high tier play for years. No one talks about it, and Riot won't change it. Why? Who knows? They think Riven shows off skill, but honestly, there's no skill in spamming abilities that give you huge damage when engaging, and an even bigger shield when retreating. Some might argue, well, there's Renekton too, but unlike Riven, when the Gator does damage, he can't retreat safely. He'll lose some HP. Riven, on the other hand, not only gets a shield, but also a dash, a stun, a knockup, and her passive does damage between casts. And don't forget her ultimate, which is an execution. That's what we like to call a full body massage with a bonus. What a lot of people don't know about Riven is that her dashes are faster than a champion with boots, and she doesn't even need boots. Crazy, right? So yes, camping Riven is always rewarding. If your team loses while you're camping Riven, it's not your fault. It's your ally's mistake. Don't tilt or flame. Sometimes you lose despite playing well. But to have a smoother, safer, and more enjoyable game, when you have Shen against Riven, just camp Riven. This way, Shen can be a big boy in the mid-game, split push safely, and assist your team whenever the opportunity presents itself. And voila, the early game went exactly as planned. At Champ Select, we already had the setup in mind. Now, it's fair to say you could make similar points about Udyr, and I wouldn't argue that you're totally wrong. Udyr is a broken champion. What we wanted to happen did happen. So can this be done by any jungler? Yes, the early game could have been played with any jungler like Shaco or Xinjiao. But could they help you reach this mid-game power spike? Here's the twist. Udyr, like Volibear, is one of those broken champions. The game design behind Udyr is unique. People say he doesn't have an ultimate, just 4 basic abilities. But that's actually a lie. Udyr has 4 basic abilities and 4 ultimates. This is how you should think of Udyr. But to be more specific, it's really 2 ultimates in design and 2 somewhat ultimate-ish abilities. The reason for this is that Malignants grant you cooldown reduction on passive with your Q and R. The same goes with Ultimate Hunter. So when you have your awakened form and use your Q, you benefit from that cooldown reduction. This opens up new builds for Udyr players. And here's why. The power of Udyr lies in the fact that he negates the game's mechanics with one simple concept: movement speed. It's similar to Lilia. If you're good at Lilia, you should also be good at Udyr, especially AP Udyr. Both champs excel at dodging abilities, closing distances, and dealing mid-range damage. Udyr can also take towers and objectives much faster. He's more of a bruiser, but with incredible burst potential. In the late game, Udyr's Q and R do insane max health damage. I can confidently say you could one-shot a tank or take 60% of their health with just one ability. You might wonder why I don't play Udyr as often as Volibear. First, I just love Volibear. Second, my hands get tired playing Udyr, because you're constantly spamming abilities. You have around 6 seconds cooldown on each ability, which can be reduced to 4 seconds in the mid-late game. That puts a lot of stress on my left hand. So yeah, I might as well play a champion that I enjoy more and get more games in with. Well, I'm no veteran expert in Udyr, but one thing's for sure. This champion doesn't require a lot of skill or knowledge, and frankly, it doesn't need much precision either. If you build just 2 correct items, the rest can be anything. You can build whatever on Udyr and it'll be fine. Why? Because you can't dodge what you can't see, and you can't hit what's too fast to track. This champion was originally made as a joke, but it turned out to be incredibly enjoyable to play. After the rework, it became a high-skill expression champion, while still embodying the idea that no matter what happens in a game, there's always a chance to make a comeback with this super mobile form-shifting champion. At this stage of the game, you might have noticed we're playing against Sylas. Sylas, unlike Udyr, steals ultimates. So here's the thing. In theory, every game Sylas only gets 5 ultimates, while Udyr gets 4 permanently, all cohesive with his core mechanics. For Sylas, it depends on the game. If he's lucky, he can grab Malphite's ultimate, or Ornn's, or maybe Seraphine's, or even Rel's. Each game is a new experience for Sylas players, while for Udyr, every game feels the same. Udyr players are like someone with a fixed mindset that suffers from schizophrenia. The only question they ask themselves is, can I do the same thing I did last game and have it work again? After building Malignants and Liandries, I wanted to go for more movement speed. The idea was to reach a point where, even if they see me, they can't catch me. Riven seemed like the only real threat on the enemy team, along with Sylas. If I can dodge their crowd control, I'll automatically avoid most of their damage, leaving them vulnerable to my storm or a Q nuke. The rest is just foreplay. By that, I mean you bait the enemy into engaging, keep dodging, wear them out, and once they've burned their summoners and ultimates, it's game over. There was also a tricky issue in this game, Echo. After getting 2 to 3 items, Echo can do insane damage to Drakes and Barons. In situations like this, every jungler needs to be open with their team about their smite capabilities. I remember in an old game, where an Echo on my team did something like 3,000 damage to Baron with one combo. He actually outsmitted me while I was standing right next to him. So this time, I made sure to tell my team, guys, we need to kill Echo, or at least take his ultimate before we focus on any major objectives. Luckily, for once, my team listened. We grouped as 5 and contested both Drakes and Barons successfully. After securing the Baron buff, we needed to keep 2 things in mind. First, I'm not tanky, so I shouldn't overstay my welcome in any fight. Second, I don't have to stay with the team. To fully use the Baron buff, we needed to execute the classic 1 to 3 to 1 split. Shen goes one way, I go to the opposite side, while Lucian and Katarina hold the mid or bot lane. This ensures that, no matter what happens, the Baron buff stays active, and we use it to its full potential. Also, one thing to remember is that Udyr's one of those champions who, at any stage of the game, has all his abilities available. So the more they lose, the more we win. And let's not forget, I specifically took this skin because it induces tilt at a higher rate than Spirit Guard Udyr. The definitely not Udyr skin is a true pay-to-win cosmetic. The more you kill the enemy, the more tilted they become, to the point where they'll forsake winning just to chase you all game. Keep that in mind. As you can see, I'm just expressing my skills by simply running around, and it is so liberating to make a Riven player look like a fool. Maybe Udyr embodies that child at recess, running with his coat and jacket flipped inside out over his head, just feeling free for a while. And with this, you can tell that the enemy team are absolutely tilted. We're slowly but surely winning, and I'm not even engaging in risky fights because I know they can't catch me. At this point, I feel like I can dodge anyone, except Vayne, to be honest. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully next time Volibear will be available, and we can maybe test the same build on him to see how it goes. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, drop a like, leave a comment, and thank you for watching. Until the next video, take care and peace.